Okay, we will work very hard today on the problems that are homework. So in case you didn't get it done in class, and you might be having a little bit of trouble, I want to go over a couple of the problems to try to help you out. So the first spot that we were having trouble in class were the Lesson 9 homework, the word problems, number 4, A, B, C. So I'm going to do A with everybody, and then you're going to use A to help you do B and C. So, number 4, solve the following problems using pictures, numbers, and words. So, at President Obama's inauguration in 2013, the newspaper headline stated that there were about 800,000 people in audience. If the newspaper rounded to the nearest 100,000, what is the largest number and the smallest number of people that could have been there? Okay, so if we put this onto a number line, okay, and our target number here is 800,000. So if I'm rounding, if 800,000 is my low end, let's make 900,000 my top end, because I'm trying to round to the nearest 100,000, so there should be 100,000 gap in between those. Right here is the halfway point, and the halfway point, knowing where the halfway point and knowing what happens with the halfway point is very important on these problems. Okay? Because I know at the halfway point, 850,000, anything from 850,000 upward will get rounded to 900,000. Anything below that will get rounded down to 800,000. So, what is the number right below 850,000? Because the number right below that, this is the breaking point. I'm either going to go up or down, right here in this part of the number line. So what number would that be to get me to go down? What is the number here? Well, it would be 849,999. So that would be the largest number. Okay? Because from the halfway point up, in this gap I'm rounding up. In this section I'm rounding down. 849,999 is the last number that will round down to 800,000. That's what we're trying to find here. So the largest number was 849,999. Okay? And then the second part of this, we need to find the smallest number that will round to 800,000. So the low end would be 700,000. And then that halfway point again. The halfway point is 750,000. I know from this point above, everything's going to round to 800,000. From 749,999 and down, that's going to round to 700,000. Well, right there, the halfway point is the smallest number that I can have that will round up to the next 100,000th place. Okay, so the smallest number would be 750,000. Okay, there's a definite pattern to this, and once you see it, a light bulb's going to go off, and you're going to be like, oh, wow, and you're going to be able to apply it to problem B, which reads, at President Bush's inauguration in 2005, the newspaper headline stated that there were about 4,000 people in attendance. If the newspaper rounded to the nearest 10,000, so this one is 10,000, what is the largest number and smallest number of people that could have been there? And then part C, at President Lincoln's inauguration in 1861, the newspaper headline stated there were about 30,000 people in attendance. If the newspaper rounded to the nearest 1,000, so this one's with the thousands place, what is the largest and smallest number of people that could have been there? So use what we did with problem A and apply it to B and C. Okay? And then the next page. Okay? We have lesson 10 problem set. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is the the last section of homework, and this is probably where most everybody is at, somewhere in here. Let's do a couple of problems here just to make sure you're doing them correctly. And I want to start with number 2, letter A. So 2A, let's see here, 2,841. And we're going to round that to the nearest hundred. So this kind of goes back to the homework last night. So we go to the hundreds place. What number is in the hundreds place? It's the 8. Then I have to determine my 2 options I have to round. Okay? I'm going to either round down or I'm going to have to round up. And I'm going to always have 2 options for that. So what's my bottom range or my bottom number, my bottom option? Well, it would be 2,800. And then what's the next 100 up? It would be 2,900. So you have to determine your options. Okay? Either by physically writing them down or doing it mentally. And then I look to the number to the right. It's a 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We round down. So we're going down to the next 100, which would be 2,000. So this would be approximately 2,800. Okay, let's take a look at 2B. 2B. 32,851. And we're rounding that one again to the nearest 100. So I go to the hundreds place. So I can determine my 2 options. That's what I'm doing. I'm writing it out. Some people at this point might be able to do it mentally. If you can't, you need to write it down. So what are my 2 options here to round to the nearest 100? So my bottom option would be 32,800. And then the next 100 up would be 32,900. Then I look to the number to the right, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. It rounds up, so I'm going to round up to 32,900. So my answer would be 32,900. Okay, so we need to determine the 2 options. So we know which option is it going to be closer to. Are we going to round up or round down? Okay? So you'll do that. You'll do that for 1, A, B, and C. You'll do it for number 2. And then, I think I'm gonna let you try these word problems on your own. I'm going to read them here. Really think about what you have to do there. So, number 3, Empire Elementary School needs to purchase water bottles for field day. There are 2,142 students. Principal Vadar rounded to the nearest 100 to estimate how many water bottles to order. Will there be enough water bottles for everyone? Explain. So if you round 2,142 to the nearest 100th place and order that number of water bottles, will you have enough water bottles? Problem 4. Opening day at the New York State Fair in 2012 had an attendance of 46,753. Decide which place value to round 46,753 to if you're writing a newspaper article. Round the number and explain why it is an appropriate unit to round the attendance to. So a little hint on that one. So which place value could you round to that would make the fair look like it's the biggest success? And then number 5. A jet airplane holds 65 gallons of gas. It uses 7,460 gallons when flying between New York City and Los Angeles. Round each number. So you're going to round the 65,000 gallons and the 7,460 gallons. Round each number to the largest place value. Then find out how many trips the plane can take between the cities before running out of fuel. So you'll have to determine how many of the gallons being used are in the gallons that are in the jet. Okay? We'll go over this in class, and this is going to prepare you for the quiz tomorrow. If you have any questions, concerns, make sure you see me in the morning or during Titan time if you have me in the afternoon.